First and foremost, as a policy, we have taken the position that we will not be extending the contracts of officers who reach 60. They must retire. This will help us to improve on the morale of our officers and also create room for promotion, especially at senior level management. So as a policy, we will not be extending a single contract beyond 60. And also for those officers, and there are not many, there are only 9 who are above 60, when the current extensions which were done before this administration took over expired, they will not be renewed. And that is a policy position. Number 2, on the same point, in terms of distribution per age, we want to ensure that we create the bulk of our officers to be at the most productive stages of our workforce, of our officers. And I will comment about that when we look at the distribution in terms of how many officers are in senior management and what are their ages in a short while.
Thank you,
Okay,
Chair.
yes,
Thank
2
you,
minutes, please.
thank you,
We don't have time.
Thank you, Chair. I'm also appearing before another committee. That explains part of the reason why I am not available, because I'm literally under siege from all corners because of the kind of work I do. I am not complaining. Chair, I want to say as follows. One, I agree with the member for Nyeri Town that we need to relook at our policy of recruitment, and that some of the things that we insist on can be relooked at. I have committed before the next recruitment to sit with the service commanders in the disciplined agencies within the ministry to see what we can develop as adjustments to the modern trends, including the CBC issue that the member for Kajiado North has raised, but also the issues that were raised by the member for Nyeri Town. However, I want to put a caveat that some of these requirements are medical requirements, and we cannot do much about medical requirements because you don't want to recruit someone who will succumb because of the medical related issues. Other than that, I agree with you to review. Number 2, when it will be the next recruitment? We are hoping we'll be able to recruit early next year. Early next year. Early next year. We are late this year, so early next year for both the police and the prisons. Number 3, the member for Kasipul has asked about equal opportunities in administrative structures. I agree fully. There must be equity and equal opportunities to all the parts of Kenya when it comes to the creation of administrative units. The policy position of this administration is that all administrative units that had been already gazetted at all levels, sub-county, because we can't create new counties, only you can create new counties and the referendum, and the people of Kenya in a referendum. But sub-counties, divisions, locations, and sub-locations, all of them will be operationalized. That is the policy position. However, it is not possible to operationalize all of them at the same time because of budget. So there is budget issues. That's number 1. Number 2, there are units, and I know this cuts across all the regions of Kenya. There are units where we may have the budget for the officers, the AIEs, for the DCCs, for the ACCs, but there is no office. So we have to look for office between the Ministry of Interior and CDF. Sometimes we partner with members of parliament. So that's what explains why for example, if a certain area already there is an existing office, we would operationalize that, because then it's easier to look for the AIE to post the officer than to build an office and also the AIE at the same time, same financial year. The other thing we are factoring in is insecurity, and areas that are prone with insecurity, we are giving them priority first, and so on and so on. But no region of Kenya will be left out, and all the units that have already been gazetted will be operationalized under this administration. I have done the first financial year. In the next 2 financial years, there will be no single units that was gazetted that will not be operational. And then we'll also look at perhaps gazetting new ones after we have dealt with the historical backlog. Because what we had, Chair, is a political problem. Every election year, 2013, 2017, 2022, the political pressure was put on government to perhaps pronounce so many administrative units. But now the actual work of implementing has been quite laborious. The commitment I want to give as the minister responsible is that we'll operationalize all of them without exception. Next is on the public participation in recruitment. I have heard what the member is saying, except that these recruitments, a member from Mwingi North, and I've been in his constituency like 3-4 times, not because of the things he said at the beginning, but because of the insecurity in that, especially Mwingi North there, where there have been issues there. That's what has been taking me there, and the other parts have been. So we would like to depoliticize recruitment. So we'll be reluctant to allow members of parliament. And in fact, it's not in your interest to be there, because you have all those kids are your constituents. And once your hand is seen directly that you are there, and perhaps a certain kid has been taken, another one has not been taken, it just creates problems for you. So, but I hear you, there is need for greater transparency in the exercise. And I agree we have work to do there. And therefore, in the next recruitment, we'll see what else we can do to have greater public participation and transparency in the exercise, including completely making it impossible for officers to ask for bribes in exchange for positions in the disciplined services. Then, towards the end, I am also reminded that I am not very available, and it is true, Chair, and I admit I will try and improve. But it has been, I've been on a roller coaster for 1 year. Sometimes sleeping for an hour, for 45 minutes, and we are all human. But I still hear you that for me to succeed, I'll need the support and consultations with the leaders who are elected by the people. So I'll improve on that in the new, as I start my 2nd year in office. I'll be more accessible, and I'll sort out the phone problems, Engineer Nzengo. Then the issue of security, we do not politicize security. It is true, we withdrew security bodyguards from some politicians, and the reason we did that is because when we had violent riots in some parts of the country, sometimes early this year, we realized it is a security problem when you have armed police officers who are protecting their clients, who are encouraging riots which the police have to contend with, and these are people serving in the same agency. Again, you can create a very ugly situation. So we said that all those who were participating in their freedoms of picketing should do so as required by Article 37 of the Constitution, peacefully or peaceably and unarmed. That
Point of order, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Bana CS. You are doing well. Right now, I don't have a security. Is there a riot? Because
I was coming, that's why I was coming
no, wait,
to. I
because
was just justifying that.
no,
I
it is a
will be-
point of order, Bwana CS, you are a former legislator. Just give me time. Your explanation is good, and that's why I put a point of order. Number one, if, for example, an MP had been arrested and charged in a court of law due to riots, etc., then I agree with your point. But here is a case, there's no charge, even attempt arrest. If a crime is committed, they should be arrested. But that is good. The country was in a serious tension. But after, the way of cooling the tensions, because for the last 2 months, the country is recovering. But now, what is this? Another point of information which I need you to do search, because getting you is good. It is only in Kasipo where the provincial administration has very executive offices up to sub-locations with social halls. Allow me, I'll share with you. So the only thing which you do, operationalize the areas which you have built the offices. Otherwise, well and good, but on security, you have a challenge.
Point of information, Chair. But his team has done very well. They have improvised security with the Sufria, so they're not doing very bad.
Honorable Chair, protect me from the politics of security. Because
Honorable Duncan, you are out of order.
yes,
Sufrias are not security. Sufrias are cooking. Okay, Wenda, please.
yes, Chair, we do not wish to engage ourselves in political matters. We provide security for the country. Those affected members, if they have stopped what was happening, they can still talk to us. We will give them security. They're entitled to security. But other than that, the issue of administrative units in Kasipul, which the offices are in place, I'll be more than happy to discuss with the member. We can operationalize those ones in record time because my effort is less than places where there are no offices for the officers. Chair and members, the member from Magarini said he has no bodyguard. I am willing to attend to the matter today. I didn't know. Yeah, then we'll include the 592 non-uniformed officers and their ethnic profiles for purposes of assuring ourselves that we are, even in that category, we are complying with the law. Those officers who are terminated without benefits, if there are specific cases, Chair, you can bring to my attention, but the standing orders of the National Police Service and the other disciplined agencies are very strict on the crime of desertion because this is an armed organization and the levels of discipline required are very high. But in case an injustice has been committed, I'll be more than happy to support you and other members who have similar requests. I think I leave it there. And Chair, I want to thank you for allowing us to make our presentation, and we will comply with you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. The question also was asked on our numbers of civilian staff as opposed to uniformed officers. We have 592, and these are basically specialized officers, technicians. Now we have a hospital, we are going to have even doctors. We have all manner of, staff. Yes, we even have clergy, imams and chaplains, and these are the total is about 592, and we apply the same measure of diversity in the process, including religious diversity when it comes to religious staff. The other question which was asked is I think on the 5 major communities, I've already said that we have to address that, but match it to the proportionate population composition of the communities. And other than that, yeah, the Honorable Ngoyoyo asked about the sub-counties, where if we are using the sub-counties as centers of recruitment, some constituencies have more sub-counties than others. It is true. First and foremost, we are working on an equitable and science-based formula for sub-counties, and as I said before, maybe before another committee, because sub-counties are mainly for national government administration, we are setting the parameters, including insecurity, the levels of insecurity and so forth, and population as the criteria. But even when we retain the sub-counties as recruitment centers, even when some constituencies have more sub-counties than others, we'll still do the math in terms of how many officers we recruit per sub-county to ensure that no area is disadvantaged by either having few or even more sub-counties than the other. We try our best to do that. And then I've talked about corruption, and I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.